Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. We on the road to 100K, man. Let's get there. Let's get there. We this close. Let's do it. Everybody who make comments, everybody who leave a like, I appreciate you. Much love, much love. Big love, big love, big love. So, we rolling, man. We in these 33 years of prison stories. It don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. Today I wanted to talk to you about what you own in prison, which is nothing, absolutely zero. Yeah, over the years in prison, you know, we were able to purchase a lot of things, man. TVs, clothes, radios, you know, commissary, I mean, whatever it may be, they sell. But also over the years, if they choose to, they will take it from you. They will take it back. They give it and they take it back from you. So you never really own anything. You don't have anything, man. And this caused a whole lot of problems over the years. I mean, a lot of problems. It caused, you know, I can, you know, remember causing riots, fights, uprisings, everything, man, because of the way that they conduct, you know, their business on the inside of them walls. And this is another reason number 6,454, not to go to prison. Because, like I say, you have absolutely no control over your life. You have absolutely no control over what you own, what you possess, what you do, where you go, how you conduct yourself. You have no control over that. All of that stuff has already been determined for you. And, you know, you learn that when you get in there. And some of the major things that occurred, you know, with giving you stuff, it's just like commissary. You know, you can go to commissary and you can purchase items, food items, cosmetics, whatever it is, you know, that you purchase. And you have that stuff that you done paid your money for, but yet at the same time they can come for a shakedown and they can say, oh, well, this lotion bottle don't have that much lotion left in it, so you got to throw it away, or it's contraband. Contraband meaning that you don't supposed to have it and you can get a charge for having it, but yet and still you paid for it. So how is that even possible? But they do it. They do it in prison all the time. I've had a few run-ins with them myself because everything in there is sky high. Everything has been price gouged. You know, if I get something, I'm using it till it's gone. I don't care. Yeah, you can believe that. I'm using it till it ain't nothing left in it. I turn around and I thud it to get the last drop of lotion out, stick my finger in there, twirl it. I got to use all of that because I ain't got no money like that. You know, same thing, toothpaste. I roll the whole toothpaste tube all the way up to the end and squeeze till everything is gone up out of it. I know some dudes that take and cut the toothpaste tube open and, you know, get everything up out of there, man, because, hey, it's hard living in there. It's hard living. You got to get it how you live. And, man, they, you know, like I say, they would give you stuff that you can purchase, and then they'll turn around and tell you it's contraband. And to me, it always seemed like it was a way for them to get more money. It always was a way for them to, you know, get you to purchase more stuff because these things you need. You know, you go and some dudes sell, man, and, you know, I've had plenty of sales like this because you stock up on all the things that you need. You know, you got some dudes, they might got 200-300 bars of soap. You know, if you're doing 20-30 years, you know, 200-300 bars of soap is not enough. You still need more soap. But they will come in your sale and say you have an excess amount of commissary, so you have to get rid of it. But yet you purchased it, and they let you purchase it. So you like, what I got to get rid of it for? I bought it out the commissary. I got receipts for where you got too much. You know what I'm saying? How can you have too much soap? You always got to wash your behind. So it's just a crazy, crazy dynamic, man. It causes a lot of problems in prison. It causes a lot of dudes to snap out and lose it. You know, I've been one of them. They have done that to me several times. Came in there and say I had too much of this or too much of that. And I'm saying to them, you know, these people, I'm doing life sentences, man. How can I have too much? You know, I don't have enough. I need some more. You know, so it's a crazy situation. But, you know, like I say, they would give you things and they would take it away from you just as soon as they give it to you. You know, they sell things and they give you a certain time limit on it where you can only have this a certain amount of time. You can only have that a certain amount of time, you know, as if you got to eat it or use it in, you know, a timely fashion. But you may purchase things because you may have the money at the time to get it and you don't know when your next bit of money coming in. So you get what you get and you hold it until you need it. But, you know, like I say, this is prison. It's not your rules, it's their rules. You're going to always have to abide by their rules. And like I say, this causes a lot of problems in prison, man. A whole lot of problems. And I can remember one of the major things, man, one of the first major things that I went through as far as dealing with this type of situation was when I first came to prison, man, you could get 13-inch TVs, right? You know, it was sweet when I first came in. I mean, sweet as it can get, you know what I'm saying, considering the situation. But you could, you know, get a 13-inch TV and you could get your people, when I first got locked up, you could get your people to go purchase a TV on the street, bring it to the prison, drop it off, and they would bring it to you or give it to you, you know, with the property. So that was great, you know what I'm saying, because you ain't had to get the money in, order it, do all the things. You have to go through all the channels to get a TV, wait for it to come in, all of this crazy stuff. People could actually go to the store, purchase a TV, bring it up there, leave it at the front, and you would get it, you know, probably within 2 or 3 days. So that's how I got my first TV when I was in the wall. You know, my mom went and purchased a TV, bought it up there, left it for me. I ended up getting it. So, you know, like I say, when you in prison, your TV is what we call in prison, that's your big ticket item. You know, that's the big ticket item. You're not going to have anything in prison as far as like money value that costs more than a TV. A 13-inch TV in prison costs you about $250, $230. Anywhere from $230 to $250. Yes, 13-inch color TV gonna cost you about $230, $250. Now, I know y'all saying to yourself out here now, on the street, you know, you get a great big old TV or whatever for, you know, probably about the same amount of price. But this is the prices that they have in prison, which was insane. But hey, you know, this is your greatest source of entertainment. You know, other than that, you in boredom. You know, you in Boredomville. Everything is bored. You need that TV. That TV, to me, I needed it. You know, because it kept me sane, it kept me entertained, it kept me away from a bunch of the foolishness that you're going to have to deal with every day. So the TV is always going to be your big ticket item. Everything else you get in prison going to be probably going to cost less than the TV. You know, when I first went in, you know, we had the 13-inch TV. And, you know, if you didn't have one, you was considered, you know, a lame or whatever, because they did at the same time, they was selling 5-inch black and white TVs, right? 5-inch black and white TVs. You talking about the screen is probably about as big as this little camera that I got. 5-inch black and white TV, that probably gonna cost you about $160, $170, you know. And if you couldn't afford the color TV, you could get the little 5-inch black and white TV. So they selling these TVs, man, for years. And, you know, like I say, it's the big ticket item. It's the best thing you can have. So most dudes is trying to get it. And all of a sudden, man, after, I don't know, I'm trying to think of how many years it took. It took quite a few years, man. But they did it a couple of times. So I'm trying to remember the first time. And what I mean by that is they come around then because, like I say, say for instance, they go do a shakedown, right? And they find a 13-inch TV where somebody has, you know, had the fortitude or the knowledge to open the TV up and hide something in the TV and, you know, put the TV back together. So when they do come shake down, then they won't find it because it's hidden on the inside of the TV. Well, they got to the point where they start opening up your TVs. So when they open up the TVs and start finding contraband, then all of a sudden, oh Lord, oh no, what we gonna do now? So now what is their remedy for that? We gonna take all the 13-inch TVs, right? We gonna take them all, we gonna confiscate them all, and they not gonna compensate you for it. You know, this dude got caught with some in his TV. I didn't get caught with nothing in my TV, but yet they gonna confiscate my TV. You see what I'm saying? And this is what they started doing, man. Dudes was going off, man. Dudes was snapping. Dudes want to fight. I'm like, man, what you taking my TV for? I paid for it, da-da-da-da-da. Nah, they taking it. You know what I'm saying? So they came around and started taking the TVs, and you was not able to order 13-inch TV no more. Now everybody had to get a 5-inch TV, you know. And this, man, just imagine that you done paid for this TV astronomical amount of money in penitentiary. That's an astronomical amount of money. And now they're going to come take the TV from you and say it's contraband, you can't have it. But they're not even going to give you your money back, and you got to go and order you a whole nother TV. Now you tell me what part of the game that is fair here. What part of the game is that fair? You know, that's just like being out here on the street and you go buy a car, and then they tell you that the car now is this, that, or the third is wrong with the car, and they no longer gonna sell the car, so they're gonna take your car away from you, but they're not gonna compensate you and give you another car. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, but this is the position that you be put in when you were in prison, because it ain't nothing you can do. You can raise your voice, you can scream, holler, yell, you know, cause a fuss, you know, and even, you know, turn into some gangster stuff. But at the end of the day, they gonna win. Because you still not going to get it, and whatever you do, you're going to be penalized and punished for that. So it's a lose-lose situation, man. But these are the things that you face when you're incarcerated, man. And I remember facing this, and man, I was living. I ain't going to tell you no lie. I was living. I didn't even want no 5-inch TV. I'm saying, man, I can't see this little TV. Plus, it's black and white. It's like everything we watching is Andy Griffin, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is black and white. It's crazy, man. But yeah, they did that. And they did it for a while, man, maybe a year, 2 years, you know, and then they turn around and start saying that they was making clear TVs. They was making 13-inch clear TVs where they can look at the TV and see everything on the inside of the TV. So once they came up with a company that they could purchase these TV from, then they turn around and start selling those. So now you have to repurchase the TV, a 13-inch TV that's to their standards that you had already purchased before. So now you've already purchased a 5-inch TV if you needed to be watching TV to keep your sanity, to you know, keep up with what's going on somewhat in the world, to have some type of entertainment. Now you have to get rid of that and repurchase a 13-inch TV that's more suitable for them, that they can see inside of it and they don't have to worry about the contraband. So man, it was just things like that would cause a dude to snap or cause a dude to lose his self-control, man, because people ain't got money like that in prison. And I know you might be saying out here, yeah, well, to me anyway, out here now, $200 and something is a lot of money. But in prison, man, it's an astronomical amount of money, and people don't have that type of money to send to you. And even if you working in prison with a state job, it's gonna take you God knows how long to save up that type of money. You know what I'm saying, to buy you a TV. You gonna have to do a whole lot of sacrifices. You ain't gonna be doing no eating. You gonna have to be going up in that kitchen and eating that dog food and some more stuff to save up that type of money on a state job. Because a regular state job, you ain't gonna make no more than $28, $30 a month. You gonna have to have a boss job, like a barber job, like like your boy, and you ain't gonna make nothing but 45 cents an hour with that. So you might make about $40 to $50 something a month. So you talking about per month. So you add that up to what you have to sacrifice not buying with that money and save that money. It's still going to take you months to save up enough money to get a TV. So this is the position that they was putting dudes in, man. And some dudes couldn't handle it, and some dudes weren't going for it, man. They fight. You know what I'm saying? They take off on the police, bang, bang, get a assault charge on the police. Now you're going back and forth to court, facing the assault charge, and you're going to have to take that brutal beating. They're going to get you after they get the cuffs on you, because they gon' whoop you. You know what I'm saying? Then you can lay flat and believe that. They're going to beat you if you put your hand on the police. So you got to go through all of that for you just doing the right thing and you minding your business. You done bought a TV legally, you done purchased a TV legally, and now they're going to take it away from you and take your money in the process, and they want you to just sit back and say, yeah, okay, that's all right with me. I ain't going to do nothing about it. I'm going to wait until I get some more money and buy whatever y'all want me to. Man, it's insane, man. It's straight insanity. But like I say, these are the rules that you have to abide by when you in prison. And man, I remember when they came back with the clear TVs, and now everybody's trying to scramble up money, calling people on the street, send me some money, I got to get a TV, woo, 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 trying to get rid of the other TV. You got other dudes, they trying to sell their black and white to somebody ain't got no TV just so they can recoup a little bit of money, and then they can have that to add to go and buy them a 13-inch, the new 13-inch now, which was a problem too, because now if you had a 5-inch on your property list, when you go to purchase a 13-inch, you had to turn the 5-inch in. You had to turn that in to them in order to be able to even purchase a 13-inch. Man, I know it's just straight insanity. Yeah, man, just straight insanity. But that's how they carried us, you know. And it wasn't nothing really that you could do about it. You know, I don't care how big you was, how tough you was, or whatever. You was fighting a losing battle. You know, when you go up against the administration, you fighting a losing battle. Even if you are legit, even if you got legitimate complaint, you lose it. It's just that simple. You know, so like I say, that caused a lot of problems. Caused a lot of dudes to get caught up, a lot of dudes to get charges that they probably, you know, didn't deserve or wouldn't have got had they not been put in that situation. But that's how it goes down, man. And over the years, they just, you know, it just became a recurring theme. They take what they want to take. They will give you or let you purchase anything that you want to purchase. But at any point in time that they deem that is contraband, they will come back and take that away from you and give you a charge for having it. Something that you bought legally, they will take it away from you and give you a charge for having it because it's contraband. And yeah, it just continued to happen, man. And eventually, like I say, it came to, they just started taking more and more. Because when I first got into prison, you know, in 87 and going through the wall and Southampton receiving and things like that, man, them dudes won't go for none of that. You know what I'm saying? You take anything that they have, they gonna tear that prison up. They gonna cost you money if you cost them money. Them dudes gonna riot, they gonna tear the prison up, they gonna set fires, they going off. You know, but over the years, you know, and the younger generation and the new generation start coming in, they won't built like that. They won't carrying it like that. You know, they was still, you know, a little shook because of their situation and because of not knowing, you know, how prison is ran and what's the, you know, the different dynamics between the administration and you. How far you can go, how far you should go, what you should do, when you should protest, when you should stand up, when you should sit down. They didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that. And the older generation knew it. So they won't go on for nothing. They filed lawsuits, habeas corpus. They filed everything when you come at them with that because they had a law called the grandfather clause. And the grandfather clause meaning that if you already had something, you purchased something, and then the rules change, the rules don't apply to you. You still should be able to keep what you have already legally purchased or what you have already been legally able to obtain. So they ignored that law and because they assume that you're not educated enough to know this law. But you had dudes that have been locked up so long, they educated enough to know these laws. But at the same time, if they file petitions or suits against this stuff to be able to keep the things that they had already acquired, you know, they may win their lawsuit or they may see that this person know what's going on and they would let this dude keep his stuff while they still taking other people's stuff, knowing that they doing wrong because if it applies to him, it applies to everybody. But that ain't how it went. You may say, oh man, they done took all the TVs from dudes and everything, but he still got his. How he got his? You know, because he know the law and he know that it's wrong. So everybody else will be running around like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And that would cause a commotion within itself as well. You know, but those are the type of things that went down in prison, man, on a regular basis. And like I say, as time went on, man, they started taking more and more. When I first went into prison, you know, you could order all your own clothes, man. Dudes had, you know, Levi's that they ordered from J.C. Penney's or They had their own shirts. They had fitted caps, all different colors. You know, you could order long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, wife beaters, shorts, shoes from Access, or shoes from all these other different places that you could order. Man, as time went on, man, we get into the mid or the late 90s. All them COs started complaining about how dudes was walking around, you know, dressed and looking like this and looking like that. Dudes got on Michael Jordan sweatsuits, Carmelo Anthony sneakers, and, you know, all this fly stuff, man. And they walking around the penitentiary, and all the officers is walking around in uniforms, all dressed alike. And some of these women that was working in the prison was, you know, seeing dudes swag and seeing how dudes was, and they was liking dudes, and the officers ain't like it. So all the male officers started complaining about the dress code and what they had to wear versus all the stuff that they was letting us have. Because you could go to dudes' sales, man, back in the early 90s, dudes had 7, 8, 10 pair of shoes, you know, abundance of clothes, you know, sweatsuits, jeans, jackets, gloves, hoodies. I mean, everything, because we could order that stuff and we can have it. You know, so, man, once they got to complaining, you know, next thing you know, they come around, man, them people talking about, man, you have 90 days to get in compliance to get rid of all of your personal clothing items, because they are no longer, you know, allowed. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff you don't purchase, you got dudes that have purchased thousands of dollars worth of clothing and shoes and stuff. Now it's all over with, just because they say so. You know what I'm saying? So now they gonna come around and tell you got to get rid of your clothes. You got dudes that got NBA jerseys. You got dudes that got, you know, $200-300 sweatsuits. You know, $200-300 tennis shoes and everything. All contraband now. You either gonna send it home or they gonna confiscate it. Either or, it ain't no in between. You got 90 days to do this. You send it all out, or they come in and take it all and give you a charge for having it. Man, dudes lost their mind up in there. They lost their mind up in their joint. And I was right there with them, man, because I had, you know, some nice clothes, some shoes, and all this and all that, and things that I done, you know, acquired and then scrambled for and then saved up for. And then you come telling me that I can't have it just because the COs is jealous because of the way dudes is dressing. Now we all got to dress in these state clothes with this elastic on the back and all these blue, man, it was insane, man. And I thought at that time, honestly, that a lot of dudes felt like I did, and they just was gonna buck, man. We just was gonna have a riot, and it just was gonna pop off, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You know, may the best man win. But it didn't turn out like that, man. Dudes was scared. You know, dudes wanted to, you know, get out of prison, which is understandable. Other dudes ain't want to take that beating. It probably was going to come with it. So, you know, dudes started sending their stuff out, man, slowly but surely. And, man, I was one of the last ones, man. I was hoping they was going to reconsider. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping they was going to reconsider, man, and I could keep my stuff, because I just ain't want to be walking around, you know, with the same thing on everybody else got on. These hard old funky jeans and same old wrinkled up state shirts with half of the buttons missing. You know, they want to give you state underwear now, state t-shirts. You can order your own underwear, your own t-shirts. Now you got to be wearing state underwear, state t-shirts that somebody else done wore. You know, yeah, you ain't getting nothing brand new. Only time you get something brand new when you first come to prison. Yeah, y'all ain't know that, did you? Everything else you got to get this state is already been worn by somebody else. Yes, including your underwear. You got to put on a pair of underwear that probably 100 dudes done wore before you, but they just washed them in this industrial washing machine that they wash thousands of others in there with, and then they fold them up and then they distribute them to you when it's laundry pass out. So you got to wear somebody else's underwear, somebody else's t-shirts, somebody else's socks, you know what I'm saying, somebody else's jeans, somebody else's shirt. Man, it's crazy, man. You don't know what you're putting on, who had it on, and what's, you know, still up in there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is prison life, man. This is prison life. Young fellas' message, this is prison life every day. You understand? So, yeah, they came and took all the stuff away, man. And I was trying to, you know, recoup some of my money, man. I had NBA jerseys and hoodies and nice shoes. I was trying to sell them to other people, man, to send home to, the brother might wear the size. I was just trying to get half of the money, some of the money back, but yeah, it was a crazy scene, man. But they did not riot behind that, man. And that was surprising that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? They did not riot behind that, man. They made a lot of noise. They made a lot of, complaints about it and, grumpy faces and angry. And then that's the crazy part, because dudes get so mad and irritated about it, and it's the system that's doing it to you, but they end up taking it out on each other. Because I'm mad and I'm angry now. When the next dude say something to me, I'm ready to pop off on him, because I know it's less consequences dealing with him than it is on the people who really is causing this anguish and this, this misery on the inside of me. So it's like, like I say, divide and conquer, man. And it's an old trick, but it works. It works, man. And people was fighting with each other and beefing with each other, all because of some rules that really don't even make logical sense. You selling people stuff and allowing them to have it, and then you taking it back. And, it went on and on, man. It even got to the point where the pictures, man, you could, when I first got locked up, you could receive pictures from the streets, Polaroids and whatnot. And, your girl, your wife, whoever you was, they could send you naked pictures, and it would come straight through the mail. It was no problem at all. It was not illegal. It was nothing. Man, after a while, dudes started getting fighting over pictures, dudes and caught his roommate looking at his pictures or sneaking through his photo album, and dude done, put the mitts on him and beat him down. And when they get locked up and they say, oh, he jumped on me because of this, or oh, I jumped on him because of that, and then they start saying, boom, all right, well, we're going to stop that. So then they come around and start trying to confiscate all your personal pictures, things that they let you have from the beginning. And then you changing the rules as we go along. So, man, dudes was really bucking on that, man. Dudes needed them pictures. Dudes needed them pictures. Dudes wanted them pictures, man. And dudes, I know a lot of cats that got locked up because they got to fighting, they rumbling with the police and end up getting charges, street charges, all because they wanted to keep their pictures. That was a major thing, man, because that's kept you connected to the streets. That kept you connected to whoever it was that you was involved with. And that was a valuable, a treasure to a person, to have that. That woman that he had, the picture, she might have left him. He might ain't got her no more. That might be the only thing he have left of her. And now you want to take that too? Man, nah, it was crazy, man. It was super crazy. And over the years, man, like I say, as time went on, when we started getting into the mid-90s and getting up into the late 90s, they just started coming back to back to back. They want to take this. First they took, like say the TV. Then they gave the TV back. Then they take the clothes, and then next thing you know, they start coming and somehow they taking the hair now. You got too much hair, because they found dudes with long dreadlocks. You had dudes that had dreadlocks, man, all the way down to their ankles. I known dudes that had dreadlocks that dragged on the floor. They had to fold them up and wrap them up, because dudes been growing their hairs for years, and that's like for some dudes it was a religious thing, for some dudes it was a pride thing, for some dudes it was a cultural thing. But for whatever reason, that's their hair, and a part of your own human body. But now they was coming around because they found dudes that might have a knife or ice pick stuck up in their dreads, hiding it in their dreads. Once they find things in prison, they take that, man, and they usually overreact. They try to, like, okay, this is what everybody's doing. So they just make it a broad statement, man, and they just try to change the rules and come at people for all of this foolishness, because this dude had a ice pick in his dreads. That means everybody with dreads is hiding ice picks in their dreads. So now they want to check your hair. So if they can't check your hair because dudes feel like they being violated in their bucket, so what is the next step? Okay, they said, well, we're going to make all y'all cut your hair off. We're going to start having a grooming policy. You got to cut your hair off. You got to have your nails cut. You got, all of this stuff, man, like we kids. You got dudes in here doing life. You got dudes in here ain't going to never see the streets again. And not only are you telling them every rule and regulation, how they should breathe, how they should talk, how they should walk, how they eat, when they sleep, all of this, now you're going to tell them how to look. How to look. Yeah, even the dudes with the big beards, they start saying you got to shave your beard. You got to shave your beard. You can't have a beard, or your beard got to be only a certain inch high. And it was insanity, man. And dudes really bucked on that. They really weren't going for that. They weren't going for that at all, man. Especially them dudes that been growing dreads and stuff for years. They say, nah, man, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So they ended up locking them dudes up. Everybody, when it came to the deadline that you had to have your hair cut, if you didn't have your hair cut and you refused to get your hair cut, they lock you up. And do you know they actually had dudes locked up that refused to cut their hair for whatever reasons, religious reasons, personal reasons, whatever. And them dudes stayed in segregation. You know what I'm saying? In segregation. They filed a class action lawsuit that went on for years. But in doing so, they still had to remain in segregation if they didn't want to cut their hair. And you got dudes that actually remain in segregation for decades, man. I mean, decades. I ain't say not decades, plural, but decades. I know one dude at least stayed in there. It took them at least, I don't want to say for sure, but I know it was anywhere between 14 to 16, 17 years before the Supreme Court ruled in their favor and ruled that was unconstitutional to make someone cut their hair for whatever reason. It could be religious release for what, but they overruled it. But it took over a decade. So you actually had dudes that stuck to their guns that stayed in segregation for over a decade, man. I personally know, shout out to Fire. I know Fire was one of them. And it was a couple of other dudes, they just stayed in there for decades because they won't gonna cut their hair. They refused. So you in segregation in one cell, single solitary cell. You're not afforded a TV. You're not afforded none of the stuff to go to the regular, none of that. Commissary, nothing. You just in a hole, in a cell with a bed, and a toilet, and a sink. And dudes stuck to their guns and their principles, and they refused to bend, man. And I salute all of those dudes, man. And it was just insane, man. But these are the rules and regulations that they set, they make, and they change them at any point in time that they see fit. Yeah, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing you can do about it but make some noise. But at the end of the day, you're going to come out on the short end. That's just the nature of the environment. You're going to come out on the short end. But when they start going too far and they start pushing too hard, man, dudes is going to push back. I'm trying to tell you. When they was taking all of this and all of that and all the times that I thought dudes was going to buck and they was going to do this, even, with the clothes, the hair, and they somewhat buck about the hair. But, all the things that I thought they was going to buck about, man, the one thing that they ended up bucking about that they was not going for was when them people started coming and talking about controlled movement. Yes, controlled movement. When they started saying, like, when we used to get up in the morning, and I spoke about this before, we used to, when they call breakfast, you can go to breakfast, then you can leave breakfast, go to the gym, you leave the gym, go out to the rec yard. Everything was open when they call, movement. Dudes go to other buildings, go everywhere. Once they start talking about controlled movement, meaning that you won't gonna go nowhere without being escorted, you won't gonna go nowhere without this block going, and then you go, and then when they finish, and then you go, and then you can't go to rec, or you can't go to the rec yard or the gym until chow is over, breakfast is over. And man, them dudes lost their mind. They lost their mind. I'm talking about, they was like, nah. That's the only little freedom that we have, and y'all gonna take that too? Nah, we ain't going for that. And they buck, man. And when I tell you they buck, first day that they started it, bam, set the riot off. They lost their mind.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young.
I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.